Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Locker Room on Voice of the People TV. I am Jerry Arpeliohai, reporting for sporting duties and so much to talk about in the ever-exciting world of football as the Champions League phase. Talking about the playoff phase came to a dramatic conclusion last night with Kylian Mbappe making the back pages with an emphatic hat-trick against Manchester City at the Santiago Bernabeu. And of course, joining me today are James and Maiwa, who are ready to break down all the action and share their hot takes on what's going down. Oh, did I say James? Oh, sorry, Ikechukas. All right, this is what it is. When you're used to James, it happens to you. And of course, I understood the way you looked at me. It's clear, like, yeah, sure. All right, I was gonna make a very interesting one for you. That's why maybe you just skipped me, because I know your entry is not always easy. It's controversial. I wanted to say controversial Ikechukwu. I didn't say how to remind me back this.
I'll forgive you. No, I'll forgive you because of what happened.
Controversial return.
No, I'll forgive you because
you want to make a controversial
you're still trying to recover from the points you lost yesterday against Aston Villa.
There's nothing to recover.
And the fever of the prophecy I prophesied, yeah, is beginning to, take charge of your
no, I've come to the conclusion
I've
come to the conclusion that I don't even need to even worry about any prophecy or anything.
Okay.
I will just wait till May. Anybody that wants to doubt it should put his money down. Then I'll be ready to talk business. But apart from that, I think I'm not going to
You played on Aston Villa side.
You know what? We can drop as many points.
Strength, and then
we can drop as many points as possible. We can even lose a game or two. But let me tell you, by the end of this season, Liverpool will be crowned the champions of the English Premier League in England, come what may. So just forget. If you play draw, just come and meet me and do your analysis.
If you continue to sound this way, you might just end up going trophyless this season.
Forget it.
I'm giving you the Carabao Cup. Just manage it.
Forget it.
The only way you can even win the league is by apologizing here now. If you fail to apologize now, forget the league. It's done.
See, it's only God Almighty that can stop Liverpool from winning the Premier League.
Okay, but you chose to show me the what's it called, the
supercomputer.
The supercomputer league table because it did
analysis of what's going on.
Okay.
And the only thing that was wrong about the analysis is that Manchester United is going to be relegated, which your own legend Sir Alex Ferguson has already, Rio Ferdinand has already said that he fears that Man United is going to be relegated. And if you take a look at it, just 15 and 2 places. Just 16, 17, before you know it, they are in the relegation.
Don't worry, on Monday we'll have this conversation again. I will look at the table and I'll say how many points now.
The thing is that you should be more worried about Man United.
There's nothing to be worried about. I've told you before. I know United will make it at the end of the season. United will still remain a top 5 team in England. Yes, going to Europe at this point is out.
When the season starts getting over, by let's say March, April, you'll be having relegation bouts with the likes of Southampton, Ipswich, and co. You will be fighting, even Everton, all of you will be fighting on who's going to stay in the Premier League. Just watch. By that time, you'll not be worried about what is happening with
Don't worry now. Thank God.
Be worried about your own situation.
Thank God we are in March already. Champions League, the return of Champions League for you now. Now we'll see Champions League.
Are you talking about the biggest ball in the Champions League?
When you
7/7.
When you officially get knocked out of the Champions League.
In your first season as a coach.
When you officially get knocked out of the Champions League, then
knocked out. Anyway, Mario, it's great to have you join us. I don't understand where. Okay, Mario is not yet in. Okay, I don't know where you are coming from. Whether you are coming from Sambisa or maybe you were with us, because I don't understand where you say Man United, Liverpool. When Liverpool crash out
of the Champions League. Oh, you think you're going to win Champions League?
We don't have to win it.
Okay, you don't have to win it.
We don't have to.
You won't. I'm telling you, the only trophy you win this season. I will say it again.
The thing is that
the Carabao Cup. If you vex me too much,
as far as
you go trophyless.
What are you going to win?
United, obviously. United is going trophyless. There's no.
So you are not even giving a chance of winning the FA Cup.
No, United will not win the FA Cup. United doesn't have a team at this point. I've told you.
Last season they didn't have a team. They still won the FA Cup.
That team was still better than what we have today. At least.
Mourinho just made it worse.
No. It's not like he made it worse. This is the problem. Last season, United had a team.
Okay.
The manager, not really. The team, not like the quality of the team is high, but when I mean a team, there is this synergy. You see, okay, the quality might not be there, but they play as a team.
Do you know that?
Now, Amorim came in, injected new players in the middle of the season. So the team, one, the quality is not really of the highest standard. Two, there's no synergy in the team at this point. So it's difficult for the team to actually blend and play according to the way the coach wants them to play.
The thing is
that's why the team is struggling.
See, it's just like a patient is sick and you took him to the wrong doctor. It's like when you have teeth problem, you now took the teeth problem to the vet who treats animals to treat. That's what Manchester United did to the club side. The club was suffering from not having players play at a level they're supposed to play at Manchester United. They had this mentality problem. Their problem was not tactics. Their problem was that they don't have players who can play at top quality. The mentality of the club was the issue. Ruben Amorim, instead of getting a coach who could work on the mentality of the team, you brought a coach who will change what they were already managing. Now they've changed the tactics, changed it for a team that is struggling mentally. And I just pray that the club will not be relegated for making such.
United will not relegate.
Had it been it was beginning of the season, Amorim would have been the answer.
We are saying the same thing. That in the middle of the season,
the way it is now, let me let you know, it's going to take another 3 seasons if Ruben Amorim is going to be in that club, for that club to be stable. Guess why? Wait, let me get you.
No, I'm not disputing it.
No, let me not tell you. So Man United will be patient for another 3 seasons.
We don't have a choice. If Liverpool can be patient for almost 4 years before Klopp won his first major title.
It was not 4 years. It was not 4 years.
No,
it was not 4 years. It was the second season he won a trophy.
Major trophy?
Yes. It was the second season.
Major trophy.
He won a trophy. I'm not talking major trophy.
We're discussing major trophy. So now you want any trophy? No, we are not. We are not Liverpool. Sorry.
No.
Sorry, we are not Liverpool.
Okay. Sorry, see, I don't like when people bring sentiment when it comes to talking about trophies. A trophy is a trophy.
No, a trophy is not a trophy. They are class to these things now.
If they are classes,
yes,
fine.
Now.
Fine. For a manager coming to a Liverpool side, where you had Sissoko, Skrtel, all those average players as the bulk of the team, you will be forgiven if you didn't even win anything in your second season, because he came in the middle of the season. He came in October. What? And let's not forget, he came in October and went to 2 finals. Went to Europa League final, beat Manchester United in the semi-final with that deadbeat team.
Unfortunately, nobody remembers who came second. Fine. What I'm saying is
following season,
it doesn't change.
He made progress.
4 years before you won your first major trophy.
No, you cannot. Are you trying to compare? Wait, calm down.
I'm not comparing.
Are you trying to compare Amorim's?
No, I'm saying we can actually give. Erik ten Hag in the first season he won the FA Cup.
He won the FA Cup.
Yes. So I'm not going to say because he won the FA Cup then he has done no.
Yeah. That was why he was given a new contract.
At the time his first season also won the FA Cup. You remember?
That was why he was renewed. His contract was renewed because they believed that he was making progress.
4 years. In 4 years, you begin to see a team take shape.
Okay.
Yes, United wasn't.
No, 4 years. I think any club side that sign a top manager for the amount of they are signing managers now, you have to hit the ground running as much as the first or second season. If you are not showing promise, if you are not showing any promise already in your first season, there's nothing you are going to do differently.
To show promises is not the same as winning trophy. You can show promise and not win trophy.
Promise is when you are beating teams and your team's mentality is different from what they saw before you came. But now the mentality of that Man United squad has deteriorated to even the worst state than it was under Erik ten Hag. Unless we are not telling ourselves the truth.
The point is, we are saying the same thing.
Let me go to Maiwa. Maiwa, it's great to have you join us on Locker Room.
Well, it's always amazing to be here. The saga with Manchester United continues. Probably maybe Chuba has not joined us on the Locker Room then. We said consistently here that Amorim was making a mistake taking up the job at the middle of the season. And we are seeing the result. It's a very adamant coach that will never change his approach, that will never change his style of play. And the current crop of Manchester United players, they are not fit, to do what he wants. And Amorim will need at least 3 seasons to be able to get things right. If he had waited and joined, when the season had ended, he would have been able, he would have 3 months, to let players go and sign new players. As it is now, he has a whole lot of problem in his. A whole lot of players are not happy. A Casemiro will not be happy, and these are senior players that might be, disrupting the dressing room. To be honest with you, as it is, when I joined in, I heard Ikechuku saying Manchester United cannot relegate. There is no team that is too big to relegate. Leeds were in the Champions League final, semi-final in 2001. 2 seasons later, they relegated, and since then they've been struggling. They came back and they've gone back again. This is it will not be the first time a big team is relegating. Nottingham Forest won the Champions League in the early 80s. Between the time they won the Champions League and the 90s, they were struggling for form. So there is no big team that cannot be relegated. We need to put this right. If Manchester United will not relegated, and that's just the honest truth.
And to even say that this Ratcliffe has even done more than enough in terms of bringing money out to sign players. And if they are still even going to sign players, mark you, they are not going to spend 80 million pounds to sign players, or the 100 million pounds of this world. And players who are below that amount, definitely, it now boils down to the manager to be able to bring them to a level. Because any player you are signing for 30 million, that means it's still a player that's still coming up. You still have a lot to put through to him to make sure that he meets up that level in terms of the tempo and the quality of the Premier League, and even playing at the topmost level. So it's going to be a difficult one. Another long period of time waiting for Ruben Amorim to succeed. And I don't know when they will start talking about winning the league, because even when Eric Ten Hag came, he met a team that at least was still having some bit of a level playing field. And bringing Eric Ten Hag, a trophy-winning coach, and his pattern was not going to be too different from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He made a whole lot of sense. But this Ruben Amorim was definitely not well thought out. But it is what it is. It's not my club anyway. I wish them all the best. Play the championship next season. Anyway, we'll be picking them straight win. At least we'll be giving them straight win in the championship. At least we'll be backing them down.
Well, Ikechuku is almost right now. You are squandering the league. You are squandering your league, on top of the league. If Arsenal can do well over the weekend, and Man City can step up and try and take points away from Liverpool, we might be here on Monday and we'll be talking about Liverpool having 3 points more, having 3 points between them and Arsenal. I think you have to start praying for Liverpool at the moment. It seems things are not going right the way they want it to.
Let me borrow the words of my president. Don't worry. Monday is here. It's not far.
Anyway, I don't tell you something for me. No.
Yeah, I never meant to worry about.
He go to come to the Qualifiers. He go call in sick.
Anyway, let's wait and see. Time will tell. With my full chest, I will always be here representing. Anyway, the final 23-man list of players for the senior national team of Nigeria for the upcoming World Cup qualifier games against Rwanda and Zimbabwe, respectively, is expected to be made public next week. And head coach of the Nigerian team, Eric Chell, has already drafted a 35-man provisional list for both games, but also has a pool of 23 players who are sure to be in the team, barring injuries or fitness issues. And we can exclusively report that the coach has made a change to the final 23-man list, with newly signed Lille of France forward Chuba Akpom getting a first-time call-up to the team after a long while. Of course, Akpom represented England at various youth levels before switching nationality to Nigeria 3 years ago. And Chell has included him as a replacement for an injured player whose name wasn't made known to us. And since moving to Lille from Dutch giant Ajax, he has scored 2 goals in his first 3 games. At Ajax, he scored 3 goals in 16 games. How would you react to the inclusion of Chuba Akpom in the World Cup qualifiers?
I mean, I don't know why we look at a player like Chuba Akpom. I mean, a player that's is more like a leftover from where he was coming from. A player who actually chose Nigeria because he couldn't make the cut out there. A player who actually, is not even a top player, even in Europe, right? Again, when we start inviting players like Jacob Murphy, for example, of Newcastle, if you look at a player like that, you say, okay, this guy is actually playing for a club side in Europe, top 5 league, that is very much active, even in their own league. I mean, who is Chuba Akpom? What exactly is he doing at this point? Many of our players, even the likes of Paul Onachu, who you really don't like, and the other striker that the coach was talking about, Victor Boniface, the both of them are actually even a step ahead of Chuba Akpom, and they are younger. So what exactly are we doing with a player like Chuba Akpom at this point? Again, maybe the coach just wants to bring him and then see if he's going to actually add something to the team. But again, when you talk about these things, they'll say it's the prerogative of the coach to choose his players. If Chuba Akpom is going to give him the result that he wants, I mean, I'm not going to stand in his way. But then, what encouragement are you giving to the players playing in our league? If you continue to pick a player that is not actually a top player, who actually chose Nigeria because there was no option out there from where he actually started from, you are definitely leaving the room, the door wide open for anybody from anywhere to just come in and pick the jersey. I really don't like this idea, trust me. I don't like it. I don't like it, and I'm going to really say it.
Okay, Maiwa, Chuba Akpom in the World Cup qualifiers. What's your take?
It's a no-no for me. Chuba Akpom is not the kind of person we need, and that's just the honest truth. If he was able to cut it in, in Ajax, they will not let him go to Lille. He played 16 games, scored 3 goals. That's not a hallmark of a good striker. Yes, a lot of people might say probably be struggled. We've seen players move from one league and they start struggling. We don't need a player that wants to use Nigeria to do, to get his footing. That is not what we need. We need players that are actually scoring, to be able to play against Rwanda. This is a Rwandan side that we have not beaten in the last 14 years. We have not had any joy traveling to the Amahoro Stadium, like you fondly call it. I mean, we need players that are banging in the goals week in, week out, not a player that want to come and test his luck in Nigeria. I really do not see the reason why, we'll bring in an untested Chuba Akpom in this kind of critical game. I'm really faulting the coach right now. I'd rather prefer we go with somebody, in the local league here. We have strikers in the local league that are banging in the goals week in, week out. Those strikers are even in form than Chuba Akpom. Forget the fact that he's playing in Europe or whatever it is. His form at the moment is not better than the Kelechi Iheanacho that we have always said should not be part of the team. I don't think Chel on this part make a right call.
Wow, Iheanacho, I don't know about that one, but anyway. Akpom has 2 goals in the last 3 games, and I think maybe he just want to have a breath of fresh air in the team.
What is fresh about Chuba Akpom?
Who has a different approach?
What is fresh about
And if you take a look at Chuba Akpom,
why is the top scorer of the Nigerian league? Why is the striker of the Chinese not part of it?
Not invited.
No, see, these are the things we should be talking about.
There are things that the coach would have seen in Chuba
What
Akpom
did he see?
that you are not seeing.
Did he see in the Champions League games?
It's easy for us.
The European League game. If we even discussing Serie D ourselves, I will be listening. Perhaps because he plays and he scores in Europe.
The same reason why Eguavon and co were inviting Victor Boniface to the team.
Victor Boniface, when he was invited, he was actually a star in Germany. He won the Rookie Award. We can actually play something on him and say,
it's the same reason why a coach will see another player, even though he's not doing what you want.
Chuba
Akpom has 2 goals in his last 3 games since he moved to France.
But Jerry,
that means he's rediscovering himself. And if you take a look at it,
we now need to look at the player that is discovering himself ahead of the player that is the top scorer of the Nigerian league.
If you invite the Nigerian league player and the stage fright and the tension and he doesn't perform, everybody will say, why not look at foreign? See,
stage fright. Why did stage fright not stop Babuna? Why did stage fright not stop Vincent Nyama, the World Cup 2002?
If he doesn't do well, Nigerians will be the ones and say it's too early to have used the NPFL players.
It's not the first time. Now Sunday Bar was our hero in the finals.
Sunday Bar was talked about when they were already going to the Nations Cup. And you know how many weeks the players will be in camp, being blooded with other players.
How many weeks did they stay in camp?
No. At least it's still better than some days before a qualifier. Because when you are going to play a qualifier, you are not giving time to even train.
So what's the difference? How are they going to? What's the difference between the time, the bonding time between a player that like Chuba Akpom that is trying to rediscover himself and the one that already discovered himself?
Can you compare the tension of playing in Europe with the NPFL?
It's the same thing.
No, it's different.
It's the same thing.
It's totally different. It's totally different.
Let me tell you how the question you asked me. Sound.
The pressure of playing in Europe is totally different from the pressure of playing in the NPFL.
How? If you're a player with
Wait.
I understand the stage is different too. Yes, the quality
of the French league is definitely not at par.
I agree
With the NPFL or even the Dutch league.
What I'm saying is, if you're a big player, if you're a good player, no matter the stage you climb, you show everybody will see you that you are good.
No. The thing is that there are some stages where you go, even though you are good, you will not be able to prove yourself based
I'll give you an example.
some indices. There are some indices that you come across. Let me let you know. When Victor Osimhen went to the German Bundesliga, he had injury problems. It's not that he wasn't a good player.
At 17, he was still very young.
He was young before he moved.
He was still very much growing.
Before he moved to the German Bundesliga for Wolfsburg, he has already blown away everybody at the under-17 championship.
That's what I'm saying. He was still very young. Players of his age, when they move to Europe, they go to the academy.
Was
that not how he
at age
started?
16, Kylian Mbappe was already eating everybody for
no, they are
Yamal.
Even Lionel Messi at 16, 17, he wasn't doing what Yamal is doing.
That's why I tell you, circumstances surrounding you.
It doesn't change anything, the quality of the players.
Somebody who's playing the NPFL, you have to do times 3 of what somebody is already doing in Europe to prove that you are better. That's just the honest truth.
I can agree with you saying that you have to do more. But what I'm saying is, if you're actually a good player, they will see you no matter the stage you climb. It is normal.
Okay, let's wait and see. I remember back in the days, we used to have, I think, was it Dele Ayenuba?
Austin Ejide, and Vincent Nyama, all in the Nigerian league.
I'm trying to remember, there was a certain striker that was looking like, talking about Julius Agawa at some point in time. When Julius Agawa was about leaving, there was a player in the NPFL who was also scoring some dead minute goals for the Super Eagles, coming from the bench. I can't really remember the player's name. If I remember his name, I will look at it. But definitely every coach has his own style.
Chuba Akpom is not going to add anything to the style.
Anyway, let's talk about the owners of Atalanta. The Pecassi family will later have a meeting, as we're told today, with the coach of the team, Gian Piero Gasperini, and star striker, talking about the African Footballer of the Year, Ademola Lookman, after their public role following their exit from the UEFA Champions League. Atlanta were knocked out of the UEFA Champions League by Belgian side, Club Brugge, who secured a shock 3-1 win over the reigning Europa League holders. And Lookman pulled a goal back for Atlanta upon his introduction as a second-half substitute, and they were later awarded a penalty and a chance to further reduce the deficit. Lookman picked up the ball and delivered a poor penalty, which was comfortably saved by Simon Mignoli. And of course, we all know how the coach made an outburst saying that he was the worst penalty taker he has seen in his life, and how Ademola Lookman responded by saying he was disappointed with the statement coming from the coach and how he has been treated by the club. And since the owners sees this situation is very important and they decide that they need to look at it and address it once and for all, and I hope that all parties will settle. But we're already hearing that Lookman is already packing his bags and getting ready for the summer to leave the club.
I think it's about time. He should have left that club at the end of the season, But then sometimes you just have to wait for that trigger to happen. I really don't like a relationship to actually end with bad blood. That's why I'm so concerned about what's happening with him at this point. The same way Osimhen, we're expecting Osimhen to leave after the Scudetto win, but he chose to actually stay there, and then the whole thing actually turned sour before he actually left for Turkey. It's also what's happening to him. It goes back to what we were saying yesterday. how much of a respect or how much of a value do we put in ourselves as a people? How much of love have we shown as Africans, going to Europe? I'll say this, right? If Ademola Lookman is the South American Football of the Year, or say he's the Asian Football of the Year, and he missed that penalty, I don't think Gasparini will come out and say all of these things he said. He's definitely not going to do that. Even if he has his reservation about the penalty, he's definitely going to call the team out or just look away. You don't talk to the best player in Africa. Arguably, the top 10. In fact, if you look at, if we have to do by rankings, right? We have the Ballon d'Or, then we have the commoners, we might say the European Football of the Year, and then we'll talk about the South American Football of the Year. The next best player in the world in terms of continents is the best player in Africa. So if we go by that metric, we're talking about the fourth best player in the world. But then, what happened? You look at him because of where he's coming from, and then you just, with all of the things he has actually, in the last over 2 generations, over 60 years, he brought Atlanta the first biggest glory they've enjoyed, and then this is how it's been treated. It tells us a lot. For me, it's time for sober reflections as Africans to go back and say, you know what, how have you missed it? If we're actually going to Europe, let's actually put our home together so that if they are coming here to pick the best players in Africa, they will respect you when you actually, knowing that they actually called for your services, not because they saw you somewhere, maybe your parents got there through a boat or something, and then you start to do business there. It's so unfortunate what's happening to him at this point.
Let's just give respect to whom deserves it. And we're having comments on our YouTube platform. And this one is saying that in the case of Chuba Akpom, club side doesn't really matter at times. It boils down to mentality. And he says we're talking like we've seen the list and how we show local players are not included. So definitely the list is not yet out. But the information we have coming from anonymous source, because we don't want to let the cat out of the bag, has it that Chuba Akpom is definitely on that list. But for the local players, I don't know if strikers have been included. Okay, I'm not privy of that, but definitely when it comes, we'll surely give you that information. And this one says, I remember Gambo Mohamed was taken to major competitions. He was the worst. Okay, Gambo Mohamed, I think I don't want to remember his time with the Eagles. Of course, Sonuba, he says, was one off. Okay, John Uzoma says, please, I want to know if the list is out. So we just said it, the list is not out. Hopefully next week, the list will be out. And this Femi Olaiwola says, I can only pick 4 players in local league that can cut it at the Eagles level. And he says, Daddy, and we hear that Daddy is on his way out of the NPFL. And he's going to somewhere in Europe. I don't remember the country yet. And there's Sadiq, okay, is it Remo Stars fullback now? Yeah. And the Chan central defender, I can't remember which of them you're talking about. And of course, you say the guy that won in number 10 for the Chan Eagles. Okay, okay, we still encourage you to drop your comments, and while you can call in via the WhatsApp and number there rolling down the screen. Okay, we'll be taking calls and also taking your comments as much as they come. All right, let's talk about the NPFL Maiwa. Fidelis Electrical, the technical advisor of Rangers, has asserted that the 2024-2025 NPFL title race is only 20% open, with Remo Stars holding an 80% chance of clinching the trophy. Do you agree with him?
Well, I think Remo Stars has been doing fantastically well. They are one of the teams that I think a lot of clubs in Nigeria should model after them. What they are doing with their academy, I think it's named Beyond Limit or thereabout. They've been trying to revolutionize football, and it's a testament where they are right now. It's a testament to the investment they have made and the work they have put in. I've said it consistently. Sometimes if teams are successful on the field of play, it's not even about what they are doing on the field. It's the kind of work they are doing at the background that is reflecting on the field of play. And Remo Star came in and they came with a different mentality. And I hope all other clubs, at least those that are not being sponsored by state government, or even those that are sponsored by state government, can model after what Remo Star is doing. I mean, I want to agree with what Ile Chuba is saying. And also remember, our league this season is home team always win. Hardly will you see an away team win. So because of that, putting that into the mix, I think Ilechukwu is very right. Yeah, most time I probably win the league.
All right. Ikechukwu, Remo stands winning the league. Do you think it's a done deal? 80%.
Well, at this point, it's still quite early. We still have more than 10 games to play, and when a league is actually getting to this stage, when you're actually not far off, say about 10 points difference, then it's still very, very, very early to call. And then again, I think one of the reasons why it's saying this is because it's difficult for teams to actually win away from home, and if all of them have to play the same number of home games and same number of away games at this point, then you can most likely say if Remo Stars keep up to this mentality, then it's definitely going to be their own title to lose. But if you look at the experience, right, experience-wise, yes, the manager is very much experienced. Ilechukwu won the league last season with Rangers. They're actually also pushing and chasing for the league title. But Remo Stars at this point, last season, they came very close. They actually did a lot, but then they lost the league. And Rangers actually got it, so they've learned something. I think they have the experience at this point. But 80% for me is a far cry. It's a stretch. It's too much of a credit at this point. It's still very early. If we have about 6 or 5 games to go, then if you say it's 80%, then I'll agree. So I don't agree it's 80%. Maybe it's just actually just trying to play humble, and see. Maybe it's just for me, it's a psychological game. It's trying to make them feel more complacent and so that they can actually hit and start dropping points.
All right, anything can happen. Just 8 points between Shooting Stars and Remo Stars on the NPFL table. Rivers United just about 10 points. Okay, yeah, 10 points separating them with Rivers United. And of course, Rangers is definitely not in the equation of those who is going to win the league this season. But Ikorodu City has been surprising all of us. And of course, they made a good impression of Eric Chell yesterday in the NPFL game at home against Plateau United, I beg your pardon, by beating Plateau United in Lagos by 2-1. Maybe Eric Chell would have seen the likes of Abdul Malik, who scored a goal, as maybe an opportunity for him to sneak in and maybe bench Chuba Akpom on that list. But it is where it is. Time definitely will tell. And of course, very interesting news coming from the NPFL has it that the Premier League has banned Niger Tornadoes from using the Baku Kantugora Stadium due to its poor condition. The league body cited the deteriorating pitch as a major concern and has directed the club to find an alternative venue for their home matches. And of course, it's long overdue. I think for a standard club side, the pitch definitely should be at par. Okay, and away from that, where we take a look at 8 months after being sanctioned for serious ethical violations, Feco Foot President Samuel Eto'o has received a major reprieve. The Confederation of African Football Appeals Committee has overturned the disciplinary panel's decision that fined him $200,000. Eto'o was sanctioned in July 2024 for his association with Sport Betting Company, and a move CAF deemed a conflict of interest given his leadership role at the Cameroon Football Federation. He immediately contested the ruling, and on February 19, 2025, the Appeals Committee ruled in his favor, stating that the disciplinary committee lacked jurisdiction over ethical matters. And of course, he is a candidate, talking about running for elections in CAF. So we'd like to see people like maybe Samuel Eto'o making the big decisions at the top level with CAF.
Definitely. One of the things I always say, or one of the places, or one of the points that I always raise as regards African football is the fact that people who are actually really qualified, who has the technical know-how, who actually have played the game, are actually far from the management and the body governing this sport. And that's exactly where we are. Like, if you look at Europe, most of the people who run football, before Gianfranco Infantino came on board, it was Platini and the likes actually running football. These guys are ex-players, so they actually know how the players feel. They actually know what the player needs. They actually know how to actually raise the standard of a league and a game. That's exactly how it should work. But then in Africa, what do we have? We have men who actually, perhaps this, a politician in this country or someone who is actually into one mining or into one sort of business, selling beverage or so, just come with your money, run through the process, get election, or a lawyer from somewhere. Just, I'm not saying all of these people are bad or these people are not supposed to be in that field, but before you venture in that particular space, you have to get the knowledge, either by actually going through the process, learn how it actually works, understanding the player cycle, because in the end, if you cannot bring out projects or something that's going to change the course of what you're actually running for, then what then are you running for? Are you just going there to enrich your pocket? This is one of the innovations. This is one of the reasons why this guy who is actually running Mosepe, who is actually running African CAF at this point, is going to be one of the best we've had in a long time, because he's actually a businessman. And if you check the revenue of CAF since he actually joined, it's actually increased. He knows that for him it's all about business. He might not really understand how players psyche is or whatever but because he's a business-oriented person, he's definitely going to put business at the forefront, and whatever he's going to be doing with CAF, it's all about how he's going to raise more money. Of course, football is all about money, and it's going to translate to the players' welfare.
All right, Maiwa, let's head to Europe with you, where Liverpool 2-2 draw against Aston Villa was definitely an interesting game yesterday, where the Slot team missed the opportunity to extend their lead to 10 points at the top of the Premier League. However, their performance reinforced their status as title favourite following a recent equaliser by Everton and a shaky home game against Wolves. Liverpool knew that a victory over Aston Villa would solidify their advantage over Arsenal. While they fell short of a win, they certainly earned at least a point from an entertaining match. And of course, Darwin Núñez was one of the biggest culprits of the night. And of course, even Dominic Szoboszlai was also trended for making an irrelevant pass to Darwin Núñez. But they say the rest is history. They will have to look forward to what happens on Saturday. But taking a look at the game, Myron.
Well, I mean, you would have expected. This is where experience comes in. If it were to be a Guardiola, you will not have him having this kind of missteps at this critical point of the season. That is where you see Man City go on a winning streak, and they always find a way to grind out the result. The last 3 games for Liverpool has been very, very shaky. They had a very shaky game against Everton, had a shaky game against Wolves, and another shaky game against Aston Villa, and that has put them where they are at the moment. I mean, the thing is if Liverpool is not careful, they might squander the lead they have. Man City is coming from the backdrop of a disappointing defeat to a Real Madrid side. They want to make up for that, and that game will be very, very, very difficult, because I mean this is the point of the season where Man City gets into their groove. As it is now, by the end of the weekend, the points might have been cut to 3, because I mean there's an Arsenal playing, there's a Liverpool playing against Man City, and with the way their performance has been shaky in the last 3 games, if they don't turn it around against the Man City, the league title might just be open again.
All right, and of course, Andy Slot was really critical of Darwin Núñez, saying that he cannot accept such an horror miss. And that was a word. He said it was horrible, and maybe it's high time Liverpool start making way for Darwin Núñez to exit the club, because he's been given a lot of time.
I remember when they bought Darwin Núñez, it was like an Haaland, how Liverpool, how Man City bought
the hype was all about
how Man City bought Ruben Diaz because of Van Dijk, and of course Liverpool returned the favor with Darwin Núñez for Haaland, the height, everything. They look like, okay, this is going to be a rival of 2 strikers. But then here,
that was trying to sell it.
Yes, yeah. but here we have a striker who would gladly miss even his own wedding if care is not taken in Darwin Núñez. And I must tell you something for free. I told you the other day that Liverpool's inexperience will cost them this league title. The only player in this Liverpool team, players rather, in this Liverpool team that has the experience of a stage like this is Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk, and of course the goalkeeper. And the likes of Arnold and Robertson, yes, they are part of the team, but these guys are the integral part of that championship winning side. These guys and
are you taking off Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson?
No, I'm not. I'm saying these 3 players that I mentioned are the critical part.
Arnold was also critical. Let's not forget, those were the season they competed with the most assists for defenders in the Premier League.
I'm not taking away their quality. I'm talking about the leaders of the team. These guys are actually leaders of the team.
I want to set the record straight.
What I'm
Robertson
saying
is also a leader.
My point is this, right? My point is this: that the people who are actually driving Liverpool in the middle of the park are largely inexperienced. Yeah. The people who are actually running Liverpool race, apart from one man in the attack, are largely inexperienced at this stage. The pressure starts coming. If you watch Liverpool's game, like Maiwa rightly said, apart from the fact that you see that they are in a hurry to get a result. When the goal hasn't come, you see them, they start losing ideas, and that's exactly one of the reasons why. Apart from Darwin Núñez, other Liverpool players at some point lost ideas. They lost composure in that particular game. This is not the first game, and we are going to see a lot of this sort of games in coming days. I'm not going to tell you this. I know you will not take it. But I'll still go back to what I was saying.
I think you'll be disrespectful not to also look at the opponents they are also playing. Seems like Everton. Take a look at that Everton game. The tempo of that game was pretty high.
Forget Everton or no Everton.
No.
The season Liverpool won the league. The season Liverpool won the league. If you recall, 2 seasons before that time. No, it wasn't even 2 seasons. That particular season, there was this particular game that what's his name? Origi actually came in and actually scored that 9 minutes goal. Liverpool had actually suffered 2 seasons back to back behind Man City. They've learned a lesson. That team actually won the league the 3rd season after trying.
That is why.
This is exactly what's happening with Arsenal. Arsenal lost the league back to back. They've learned a lesson playing in this particular position.
Thank God you brought in Origi. You know, was it not today? I was thinking about Darwin Núñez missing his penalty, this opportunity to score in that game. Imagine you had the quality of Origi coming from the bench. There were games that Origi actually saved.
It's so good you're beginning to agree with me that you will not win the league. It's so good that you begin to agree.
They are going to win the league. So whether Darwin Núñez miss all the chances in this one, they are still going to win the league, because it will be unfair to players like Mo Salah, who definitely is also looking at another record this season. It looks like he's going to break that 20 assist record this season. He might be going 21. He just needs 6 more assists. We'll still have lots of games to go before the league season wraps up. Okay, because of time, let's talk about the Champions League. Manchester City are out. Kylian Mbappe decided to show up on the most important day for Real Madrid. What a awesome performance from Kylian Mbappe.
Carlo Ancelotti is the master of grinding out results. Kylian Mbappe showed up. Jude Bellingham was a class of his own in that particular game. Rodrigo, fantastic. Vini Jr., fantastic. Playing Kusanov was a mistake. Why play an inexperienced defender in that kind of game? There was no reason to do that. Playing, yes, Haaland had a knock and the rest of that, but Haaland should have started that particular game. I think overthinking killed Guardiola. However, Ancelotti has shown once again that he's one of the best coaches in Europe, and he was able to deliver a crushing defeat to Pep Guardiola. It seems Pep Guardiola does not have an answer, and the result was there to see. Kudos to them. And also, Juventus getting dumped out, bad week for the Italian side. All the 3 Italian side dumped out, leaving only Italy alone. We might be seeing a drop in the Italian teams that will feature in the Champions League next season. Amazing games all around yesterday.
All right, and of course, saying that he has what it takes to reach Cristiano Ronaldo's level, that will be a difficult ask. But if you take a look at his goals and in Champions League appearances, I think in as many appearances, he has 256 goals in 308 appearances, and Cristiano Ronaldo had 451 goals in 438 appearances. These are players who are beasts. They are not humans.
No, you can't reach Cristiano Ronaldo's level now. So.
If he improves his form, maybe he can get close. Yeah.
Okay, perhaps get close, but Cristiano Ronaldo is another breed of a player. No, it's not possible.
All right, so much to look forward to, and we also saw Juventus crashing out of the Champions League. It was quite a very hard one, bitter pill to swallow for the side, and of course, PSV beating them in that one, really hard one to see them out. But let's talk about the Europa League before we go. We know that Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce are poised to progress to the last 16 of the Europa League when they visit Anderlecht tonight as the Portuguese coach targets a 6th European trophy of his storied managerial career. A lot of games to look forward to in the Europa League tonight. We also know that Bodo Glimt will trade tackles with 20, and Galatasaray, I don't know the magic they are going to do to overturn that. Talking about first leg loss in Turkey. It's going to be a difficult one to ask for Victor Osimhen's Galatasaray. Of course, time really fast spent. We just have to go. Maiwa. Okay, that's the fixtures to look forward to in the Europa League tonight. Just in 30 seconds, Maiwa.
Well, I'm looking forward to the Galatasaray is that for those that are, that's a good game to look at. It's going to be an interesting game. They have to overturn 3 goals deficit. Well, Osimhen is back now, and he was very instrumental in their win over the weekend. Let's see if he's able to impact the game. The first leg he was not there. Let's see. Mourinho trying to pick up Fenerbahce. Let's see if Fenerbahce can get the win away today. It's going to be an interesting game. I'm looking forward to both games to see how Mourinho and Victor Osimhen will win their games tonight.
All right, Ikechukwu, it's a wrap.
Well, I just hope Victor Osimhen's Galatasaray scale through this one. I know it's going to be a very difficult task considering the result of the first leg, but then let's hope. Football, nothing is entirely impossible.
All right, big thanks to the guys behind the scene talking about the likes of Victor, Sam, Ikechukwu, and Jeremiah. My name is Jerry Apelohai saying stay safe, and if not waiting at all, do it the sport way.